Hello there. I'm going to play a, a rapid game. So let's see how it goes. Let's hope I do okay. And the game, I'm trying to get paired. And I hope my opponent doesn't have a new account, but we will see. We will see. Okay, this account is from May 2025. So let's see how it goes. So I'm keeping the tension in the center. He can push d5, pawn takes, knight takes, and knight f6 for the moment. So yeah. Let's hope to play this game well. Okay, so my opponent is developing. I can push now d5, pawn takes, knight takes. Or I can also go g6 is an option. The typical position in this opening, so let's see. The position is solid. So okay, finally a breakthrough in the center. So here I'm forced to take. If he takes with the knight, I'm gonna castle, and the position is very solid, so no problems here. I can even take with the b pawn and try to go d5. Okay. Queen a5, for example, is a decent move, attacking the bishop on g5. So yeah, the position is solid, everything is okay. But let's see what's my opponent's plans. So Yeah, that move seems a little bit weird because if I go a6, what's his plan? e5, b4 is not an option because I can simply take with the queen, and that is not great for him. So I'm gonna go a6. He have to take the knight first. After knight takes, I guess, after bishop takes, bishop takes, knight d6, rook d8, or queen c7 is also an option. Knight d6, queen c7, and you know, everything is all right here. So if the knight comes to e4, I have, of course, bishop takes b2, rook b1, and bishop e5. So that gives me an advantage. So let's see. Right now the knight on d6 stands good. I need to take or to make a decision if I prefer the bishop on g7 or e7. If I come back to g7, maybe he can go knight d6, and if I come back to e7, he doesn't have that move. So let me go back to e7. So he doesn't have the d6 square for the knight. Rook d8 is a possibility. Also b6 is a nice move. b6, controlling c5, and threatening to develop my bishop on b7 seems nice. The idea, I don't see any reason not to play like that. If he pushes c5, I guess I can take the pawn and later go d6. Everything is under control. My pieces are well coordinated. I also almost finished my development with bishop b7. So yeah, things are going as they should in this position. So let's see. My opponent is playing slowly. Maybe he doesn't feel very comfortable in this position. But what to do? E3 is a move which takes away a square for my knight, but I don't feel like that does much. With the last move, bishop b7, my rooks are connected, and finally I think that my development is completed. So right now, after that move, I can focus on attacking a little bit with moves like, I don't know, moves like 95 or rook 81, trying to break open the center. So yeah, maybe even a5 at some point to get the square of b4. Yeah, my position is not that bad, to be honest. So 95 is also a move. Threatening to go f5, and if an exchange happens, I will try to keep my bishop, my dark square bishop, and exchange his white square bishop. So yeah, I don't usually play this type of positions with white or with black, because I don't know, I have never played this in serious games. I once long ago played this type of positions for a little while, but I never got serious about this type of structure. So about the position that I currently have, I don't feel, or at least I don't see how I can be worst. So yeah, my opponent keeps my opponent keeps keeps thinking. So here I can improve one of my two rooks, bring it to the center. Which one? I guess the rook d8 is sensible. I can also go bishop a3, but that don't really do nothing. 95 f4. I mean, I can also go f5, knight 92, knight e5, trying to exchange the pieces. Or I have a little trick also, going bishop a3. If he goes rook c2, I have f5. But apart from that, he can go bishop b1. So yeah, very f5 gives me some weakenings on my f5, knight d2, knight b4 could be a move, e4, I can push f4, yeah. Yeah, bishop a6 is a3 is a little trick, but I don't think he will go rook c2. He will go rook b1. No, but it doesn't work because after, even if he go rook c2 after f5, he's got the g5 square. So yeah, I'm going to play rook a d8. It's a good move. So yeah. So let's see what happens here. Everything is under control, so how can I improve my position? My knight c5 is a good square for my knight, but it's almost impossible to put my knight there. f5 is also a decent square for my knight, but very hard. So yeah. Knight e5. Yeah. Knight e5, queen d4. Let me go knight e5. Why not? To see if he creates some weakness with f4. f4, f5 is a possibility. Pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes. Knight f6, queen f6, bishop takes, knight takes f2, check. And in that position I feel very happy. So f5 is f5, pawn takes, pawn takes. If we go backwards, I got g4, f5, pawn takes, knight, pawn takes knight, knight takes pawn, queen takes pawn, knight f6 check. Yeah. Because if I go backwards, my position will be too passive, no? Yeah, let me go for maybe this position is not that bad for me. Pawn takes, pawn takes. So yeah, his king becomes weaker and opening up some lines on his king. So I need to also attack and not only play for small advantages. So now my opponent right now stands at 5 minutes on the clock, so who knows if under time pressure he will play worse or better. We will see in a little bit. But what I can say is that he does not like the position. So, or at least I expect he doesn't like the position. So yeah, he went for all. I can take here. Okay. Yeah, this is a move I did not contemplate. If I take the queen, I improve his pawn structure. His e3 pawn won't be a weakness anymore. I have the pair of bishops, so if I go queen c6, defending everything, he has a check. He can exchange some material. So yeah, I'm gonna go backwards. So Okay. I can play rook f5, for example, to control more squares. Rook f5 seems decent. Why not to play that? Rook f5, and he can try to play some things, but I don't feel like my position is worse. I can even try to go bishop c5, exchange some material, and go into an endgame in which he will have the weakness on e3. Right now, the weakness is not that bad because, of course, there are a lot of pieces on the board, the queens, the rooks, and the minor pieces. But I'm pretty sure that in an endgame, that pawn on e3 maybe has some flaws, or maybe add some flaws to his game. So rook f5, an active move. I'm also threatening rook e5 at the moment to put some pressure on the knight on e4. So yeah, that is a nice little move that I did not contemplate. Bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop. Yeah. What to do? So he's threatening my rook and my bishop. If I take the knight, I guess is I can go e5 also, but e5. Bishop takes bishop. Knight takes f5. Pawn takes, king takes, check. Yeah, and if I exchange everything, like let's say bishop takes knight, queen takes knight, queen takes queen, rook takes queen, bishop takes bishop, um, king takes bishop. I have two weaknesses there that are very Very bad. This is a very, very strong move by my opponent, and I don't see how to avoid the exchange of material. Yeah, that's a good move by him, and I blundered that. So let me see if after bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes, and bishop takes. I have some chances because the position will transpose. Bishop takes bishop. Well, I have to do this. Let me not think a lot of time. He has to take, obviously, queen takes bishop. And this was, oh, give me a second. Let me finish the game before ending the stream. So queen takes queen, bishop takes bishop. And that is that should be drawish. Rook takes, obviously. Bishop takes. I want to double the rooks. Rook takes pawn, rook check, and rook takes a1, a2, and double the rooks is a nice chance. So I'm gonna, okay, very, very fast. Very fast. Yeah. So yeah, very, very interesting. So what to do here? I have 5 pawns against 6. My opponent magically avoid some trades. If he takes with the rook, I can exchange and go rook a5. So that position I don't feel is very bad for me. And I can push the pawn, no? If I push the pawn, He can take, but I can go rook d5. And that is, yeah, let me push this pawn. Why not? Yeah, he's playing very, very quickly. I can also try to play rook d8, for example. So let's see. Here I can go rook d8. If he takes, I can take. Check. King h3, rook h5, check. Or I can go rook d4, rook d5. So yeah, what to do? If I go rook d8, he will go rook c6, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way. Yes, I hope I can manage to draw this position, even though it's not very easy because I have two weak pawns. So pawn takes, obviously. I'm gonna end up in a position which I hope I can do something with my king and my rook, but we will see because now this is the end game and things can get very, very hard. Yeah, he took some time there, so let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to take the pawn. Incredible how he has managed to king up, I guess. Yeah, maybe I'm lost. Yeah, taking a lot of seconds there to capture is not ideal. So yeah, very, very strange, to be honest. The speed, rook d6, king e7, and and try to h5 maybe was a little trick there, but okay. Yeah, the speed, I don't know. I play very good until the move knight d6, which was a huge blunder. And you know, yeah, I'm lost. I'm gonna give a check, I guess, but I understand that I'm lost in this position, which is unfortunate. So king here, checking king g6, and what? So yeah, very interesting position. I'm distracted right now because of the incoming calls, but what can I do? My opponent didn't take the pawn right away, so that makes me think that his game is awkward. So okay, but okay, I will play till until the end is reached. Mm-hmm. King to the center, king f5. Okay. G4 is also a possibility. I know I'm lost. I just want to. I just want to see how my opponent ends the game. So he's taking a lot of time here. Almost everything works. H5, for example, that is not the best move, obviously, but you know, what can I do? H5. He can go A7. I cannot take because of rook G7 in the end of that variation. So King H7, of course. So yeah. Obviously, rook f6 is a very strange move, but what can you do? He's threatening G7 and rook f8, obviously. Let me go here, G7, rook f5, one last trick. Obviously, he won't fall for that, but rook check, it should incredible, no? I mean, what is this? Obviously, my opponent is not very intelligent, and this is a sign that something is wrong with this game. And what can you do? I'm not even going to review this game a lot because obviously a player that achieves this advantage won't drop the advantage like that. I mean, this is very funny. This guy, of course, is ridiculous, no? Ridiculous. But well, what can you do? This is chess nowadays. I cannot believe that a player that achieved such accuracy and outplay me in the middle game, in the end game, fall for such a cheap and an easy to see trick, no? I mean, anything wins in that position, even rook f8, check, rook takes, pawn takes, king takes, and a7 is completely winning. I mean, a player of that caliber, if he was a clean player, he wouldn't fall for that trick. And also, the time that he was spending during most of the game was not was not according to the position. But okay, this is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.